Professor Dan's Memes presents Memes 2978.
There's ground for not knowing fact or fiction. That's because it's grounded in conviction. Where everything you believe is a fact, and you can't handle a contradiction, you'll assume it's all empirically backed, and everything else is a giant myth. That's why you'll believe you're being attacked by all the dissent somebody comes with. Lies to you are an immense monolith, and that is all anyone offers you when the deal with yours has reached its zenith. Hence, it's the only one that can be true. It leads to a bunch of hullabaloo about how not everyone can be right, but you've got the wisdom nobody knew, and they need to follow you to the light, because facts can only take you so far, and they don't seem to be very airtight. A fact explains how you can start your car, but with faith, you can be a superstar.
Deplorable Dan's Memes presents Memes 1282.
The dolts yearn for the decree of Hamas, where they'll tear down our foundation, the cross, just so they can flip the script on Israel, and force on this country, a Sunni boss. They'll spew anti-Semitic vitriol in their progressive universities, as if the deaths of Jews are trivial, while they cry in their little nurseries. It's such a vast cave of absurdities, where they say they don't hate Jews, just Zion, as if they can ignore the injuries caused by the cowardly prideful lion. How would you handle the privileged scion, who thinks a school is a place to protest, instead of studying like a Mayan, unlike rats who found a dorm to infest? So while there's genocide in Palestine, which had invaded Israel like a pest, as if it's their history and bloodline, they'd rather raise eyebrows, cry wolf, and whine.
Dan's Memes presents Memes 3810. Dan's Memes presents Memes 0221.
The cursed horses are bleeding on the street, and the doomsayers think it's pretty sweet, because now they have their dire miracles, which show their prophecies as more concrete. This shows the end times are empirical, especially with the silence of Big Ben, and the world is getting hysterical, as we raise our hands up and shout, Amen. Jesus said this would happen, but not when. But we're still expecting the other signs that the Bible revealed to us back then. If you would only read between the lines. The naysayers also prove God's designs, as bleeding horses are coming their way, till the whole skeptic community whines, fearing the wrath of God on Judgment Day. They better bow their knee and tongue confess, for all the things they did in their decay, because they tried to say it's all BS. They lost at checkers while we won at chess.
Dan's Memes presents Memes 7614.
Oh, The Economist. This enrages when clouds borrow from a cretin's pages, with no cognition of economics, since they think more workers decrease wages. Their thoughts cause more faults than crashed tectonics. Like any numbskull so conservative, who also gets their physics from comics, because they believe the alternative. They've always got to be adversative, thinking the nutcase has it figured out, as their consciences are so purgative. With all the clear brightness of a blackout, they always suffer a factual drought, chasing the mismanagement of a rogue, who doesn't really have very much clout, though great lunacy is always in vogue. I hope this will become a wake-up call that will allow them to release the drogue, so they're not making everyone's skin crawl, like a crude mouth-breathing Neanderthal.
Toxic Dan's Memes presents Memes 0138.
So you whine about a double standard by those you've calumniously slandered, because they don't protect you as you want. So to the antagonists you've pandered, you are a rather salacious debutante, who's got a bit of a slightly short fuse, if not caught it to at a restaurant. Because it's men you think should have values. You don't hide your piercings or your tattoos, while thinking his expectations are wrong. Because he should be respecting your views, though you expect him to be rich and strong. Where he takes you, you surely don't belong. You don't even have to cover your drink, and you make sure he can see your clear tongue, to doom him for what you want him to think. He's another wolf in a pack of guys, who wants to use you as another kink. At least that's how you see him with your eyes. Thus, you'll wrap him up in your web of lies.
Regressive Dan's Memes presents Memes 3514.
We hear so much about such tradition, requiring women's hearts and submission, to men expected to be providers, as if they know the correct position. They come quickly like venomous spiders, that will devour women like milkshakes, and disappear like vaporous gliders, leaving women's charts to melt like snowflakes. They refuse to acknowledge their mistakes, which is why they want to go back to those, because they don't want to put on the brakes. Thus they lead us all around by the nose. We are looking at their privilege decompose, because they don't know about history, which is why they are running like pantyhose. From the roasting hotness so blistery, we see their lies so blackened like midnight, since their delusion is no mystery, which is why they are losing their own weak fight, while we hope to find their way toward the light.
Dan's Memes presents Meme 7239.
You hear those bragging about how truth hurts, until with their own triggers someone flirts, where they want to cancel their opinion, not knowing they've gotten their just desserts. They think everyone else is a minion, as if they're not following a shepherd, leading their flock reaching to 1,000,000, and hiding in plain sight like a leopard. Their hearts and minds are insanely peppered with an alternative kind of falsehood, where any challenge makes them ill-tempered, because it's they who are misunderstood. The mainstream sees them as up to no good, even though their beliefs are as mainstream, where they chop each other up like firewood, while trying to appear as the supreme. They try to paint bullseyes around their holes, to trick fence-sitters into their regime, while they're dragging moderates through the coals, who are the only ones kicking field goals.
Dan's Memes presents Memes 0357.
You know your manhood starts to get brittle, when the core men begin to belittle men for how good they can make women feel, then quarantine them in a hospital. A submissive man is like a square wheel, when he can ignite the feminine bomb, and resist corrosion like stainless steel, which would burn the eyes of a peeping Tom. A king should never crown the queen at prom, since the one crown that counts is on the king, and the king's power can make her a mom, because it's not she who makes the seedling. Men will write the songs the women will sing, because women don't have the ink or quill, to open the parchment closed by a string, and be careful so the ink doesn't spill. Let men keep writing the music of life, while fairy larvae are writing their will, since pleasure doesn't make a pro a wife, because overuse will dull any knife.